Hi everyone, can you hear me? Okay, so unfortunately I'm joining from a different link because there was some technical glitch, and I was not able to join from that link which I had posted yesterday, and that was the reason I was a little late. Okay, but anyways, I hope all of you, those who are still there, I would request all of you to come to this link. And today, as I said, that I'm going to cover all the important points about tomorrow's exam. Okay. Yes. Okay, so the first thing what I'm going to discuss today is the treasure chest short stories. Okay. So the first story that we are discussing today is With the Photographer. With the Photographer. Now those who are asking for sure chapters, let me tell you that if you want to sideline the last chapters of previous year, you can do that. But in other ways, conditions apply. I will not be able to tell you the sure chapters. Okay, the two extracts which had come last year, that you can ignore. Okay, but then again in MCQ you will be tested on that. So there is nothing called sure chapters. The agenda for today is last minute revision, which I had promised all of you, and that is what I'm going to do today. So with the photographer, what happens in the story? What is the theme of the story? Can anyone tell me? What is the theme of the story with the photographer? The theme of the story is body shaming. First of all, we are not supposed to body shame anyone. We need to accept who we are, and we should not be insecure about our looks. That is something we need to remember in the photographer. I think my audio is clear, right, everyone? Okay, thank you for joining, and I'm really sorry that all of you were waiting for some time, but then I can assure you that since you have joined now, I'm going to give you all the main points which I wanted to cover today. So as I said, with the photographer, we see that the narrator had a really harrowing experience when he was waiting at the photographer's studio, right? So do you think, now there is one question which has been asked a couple of times in my video, is that, was the photographer professional or unprofessional? So I want some of you to give me a clear idea, what is the doubt with this question? Was he professional or was he unprofessional? Of course, if you ask me, what is the meaning of the word professional? A professional is a person who is, who is very particular about the way he functions. Being good in your job is called and termed as professional. But the photographer, if you see, obviously he had skills. But what about when he made the client wait in his studio for no reason? He made the man wait for almost 1 hour, though he did not have any clients at that time. Would you call that professional? No, I would not call that man a professional. He was good with his skills, but then there are many flaws in his character where he has made the narrator uncomfortable. He comes too close. He humiliates and embarrasses the man, insults the man, he body shames him, he criticizes his average features, and the narrator leaves the studio with tears. It was a traumatic experience for the narrator. So I would definitely not call this man a professional. This is a personal response question. You have to justify. If you think he's a professional, then you need to give the points. Okay, but then yes, if you ask me, I would call him an unprofessional because he may really traumatized the narrator. Only yes, he knew the techniques. He knew the way, how a photograph should look nice. But then you need to maintain the originality of that man. That man was not able to maintain his originality, right? So therefore, I would call him an unprofessional. As I said, important chapter. Hello everyone. Important chapter means, as I said, last year's extract you can ignore. In that way, you can ignore last year's extract, but then everything else is important. Okay. Yes. So that is what we know about the lesson, the photographer. Now, what is the message that we need to take from this lesson? The message that we need to take from this lesson is, as I said, that we need to be confident about the way we look. We should not blindly follow the trend, and we are right now living in the age of filters. So when we are living in the age of filters, we are very ashamed about the way we look, and that is something the author has really condemned. Okay. I will also clear some queries which had come. I'm also going to attend to all the queries. Okay, now we move on to the next lesson, which is the pedestrian. Okay, now as I said that first I'm going to cover the themes. So photographer theme I think is clear. Okay, then we move on to the lesson, the pedestrian. Now in pedestrian, what is the theme? In pedestrian, what is the theme? Last year, the last lesson had come. So if you want, you can skip that. The last lesson was asked last year's paper. So yes, that is something that you can keep it in the side. But I would say for MCQ, you need to learn everything. Okay, now the main theme of the lesson pedestrian is the author over here has emphasized on the effects of technology. Technology has really impacted us, right? We are getting many advantages from technology, but the effects of technology can be really dangerous at times, because man is a social animal, and when man is a social animal, he needs to remain connected with each other. But here what we see is there is a disconnect between the people of the society. There is no connection. People don't talk to each other. People don't say hi to each other. They never come out of their homes. Once they are back from their workplace, they never come out of their houses. So therefore there is a major disconnect. And the warning call is that if mankind progresses in this way, it is going to be really dangerous. Okay, so yes, important question from the pedestrian is, what is the theme? What is the theme of the lesson? You have to write what I just said. The theme of the lesson is the author has painted a picture of a dystopian society. Theme of isolation, yes. Absence of conformity, correct. Yes, you are right. So this is something that can come from the pedestrian, that what is the theme of the lesson, what is the message the author has tried to convey. That we need to remain connected, man needs to connect with each other. And the picture which the author has created is that of a dystopian. The word dystopian is very important over here. Okay, so from pedestrian, this is something which is very important. All right. Now, what is the character? One more important question is, what is the character? Talk about the character of Leonard Mead. Now, Leonard Mead was very different from others, right? What kind of a man was he? He is a non-conformist. Non-conformist means somebody who doesn't comply to the way a society functions. So in that way, he's a non-conformist. Non-conformity means somebody who's not following, somebody who's not complying with the ways the society usually functions. That is the meaning of the word non-conformity. If you think this word is difficult, write comply. C-O-M-P-L-Y. He doesn't comply with the way the society, the rules of the society. Okay, so yes, this is how Leonard Mead lives. He lives and thinks in a way which is very different from the way others live in his society. What are the things that he loves to do? He loves to walk. He loves to walk alone. He loves to see the nature around him. So these are the ways Leonard Mead is really different. Also, what are the things? He does not have a television set at home. Okay, he is also a writer by profession. Now, having a profession like a writer is also very unusual, because the time where he lived, the place where he lived, nobody reads, nobody writes, right? Because these things, writers, they are creative by nature, and he lives in a society where there is no creativity left. Okay, so in that way, he is a non-conformist. Yes, he's socially disconnected. Theme of the photographer, I just said, acceptance of who we are, not being insecure about our looks, and be confident in the way you look and stop body shaming people. The society always maintains some standards of beauty, so we are trying to break away from that. With the photographer, this is something which is very important. The standards of, we always try to fit into the standards of beauty. The story emphasizes that we should not fit into that. Drama prediction video is already done. Important questions already done. Yes, please check that. Okay, now somebody is having a question over here. What would he see when Leonard Mead used to walk? What are the things that he would see? He would see the houses with dark windows, right? And it is compared to the, as if he's walking through a graveyard where he can only see the faintest glimmers of firefly. The light appearing, like flickers of light appearing behind the windows. This is what is the meaning of faintest glimmers, where he is as if walking through a graveyard and the little bit of light that he could see behind the windows are like the firefly light. And the people who live, they are compared to the grey phantoms, the grey shadows. Okay, somebody is asking me about the clover leaf reference. Okay, 1 minute. Yes. Now, when Leonard comes to the clover leaf intersection, it stood silent where two main highways cross. Clover leaf is like a point where, you know, you have all the connectivities going in various sides. That is a clover leaf. It's a place, it's an intersecting place where you have intersecting roads and highways, a point where you have all roads and highways interconnected. That is a clover leaf. So when he comes there, he stands there and he's like, you can see everything is very silent and empty. Two main highways cross the town. That is what he noticed. Now when he stands over there, he remembers that in the morning, this place is completely different. In the morning, there is a surge of cars, because everybody is going to their workplace. The city is very busy in the morning. The city is very crowded in the morning. You will see lots of cars, they are moving, and you know, there's a continuous attempt to come ahead of each other when they are traveling. This shows that the city is very busy and very crowded. But then there's a major contrast when they come home at night. Once they come home, they never come out of their houses. They are just glued to their television. Okay. Those who are looking for poetry, I will do that. But then I can't break. Right now I've started with prose. I will complete and then I will again come to poetry. But yes, poetry video is also done. One poetry video is already done, so you can watch that. Thank you for waiting patiently. I can see a lot of you are waiting. And yes, please show some, give me a like so that, this can reach others also. I know many of you are having doubts, and thank you so much for trusting and supporting this channel. I'm really glad that all of you are here today. And tonight, please make sure that you revise everything in the way I am telling you all. Okay, now why there is a reference to the Arizona desert? Arizona desert means again empty, isolation, empty, nobody around. So that is the reference of the Arizona desert. When he was standing there, when he was standing in that place, he could see everything around him was empty. Okay, there were nobody around. Absolutely everything was silent. And when he closed his eyes and when he stood over there, he was imagining that as if he's standing in the middle of the Arizona desert. That's all. Arizona desert. Now imagine a desert. A desert is something where you have nobody around, absolute isolation and emptiness. So that reference is given over here. It suggests that the place, the city where he lives is absolutely empty at night. There is silence and there is no human touch to it. Okay, yeah, that's all here. All right, so I think that is all about pedestrian. We have discussed Leonard's character, we have discussed the theme of the lesson. Okay, now we move on to the girl who can. Let's come to the girl who can. Again, this is important. This is an important lesson. The girl who can. Now, the girl who can is about a girl called Arjoa, right? She's 7 years old. Now, where does she live? She lives with her mother and grandmother in the village of Hazodse. What is the theme of the lesson? The theme of the lesson is stereotyping of women. Stereotyping of women. Women are always believed that they are just meant to have children, but they have a greater role in the society. They have a greater role in the society, which is again seen through the character of Arjoa, right? Arjoa was always judged. Her grandmother thought that she has spindly legs and therefore these legs are good for nothing. According to her perspective, she's an orthodox woman. She's having a traditional mindset. So according to her, her legs are not good enough to have children, right? But then when she realizes that Arjoa, she could run very, very well and she got selected, that's when she realizes that Arjoa is also capable of other things, and she did prove herself. When she won the competition, she proved herself, and that is the way her character, the grandmother's character, is very important. The character goes through a major development from the way the character starts till the end of the story. The character goes through a major development. You can call it an arc, like a roundabout way where the character starts from point A and reaches a particular point. Okay, so this is how the girl who can has to be prepared. Okay, now what is the reaction of the grandmother when Arjoa won the competition? First of all, she was very surprised. Then she was proud, and also she was filled with regret. She was filled with regret, okay, because she always thought Arjoa's legs were useless, but then her perspective changed after she won. And then she realized that her thin legs were also useful. Okay, so this is what we see in the lesson, the girl who can. All right, now what the story has been said from a 7-year-old girl's perspective. So what is Arjoa's? Another important question is, what is Arjoa's opinion about elders? What is her opinion about elders? So her opinion about elders is that elders are unable to understand her thought process, and she is also not able to express what she thinks. Right? Now, apart from empowerment of women and stereotyping, one major theme in this lesson is also importance of education. The grandmother thought that Arjoa's going to school is something like a very casual thing. She never emphasized on education. So what did she think? She thought that if Arjoa's legs are good for nothing, then it's better she let her go to school. But then the mother always wanted the girl to be educated. So in that way, importance of education is also something very important. Alternative titles for what? Which lesson? Alternative title for girl who can, you can talk about something like empowerment, women's role in society, women are to lead. You can give any creative title like that if it comes. Keeping in mind the theme of the lesson, you can give a title. Okay, let's move on to the next story, which is the elevator. Okay, elevator. How many of you are ready for elevator? Julius Caesar, I will come to Julius Caesar. Let me finish with elevator first. Now in elevator, what happens is there's a boy called Martin, and he is living with some kind of a fear. He's always living with some kind of a fear in his mind. Okay, so what is the fear in his mind? What is the fear in Martin's mind? That he was, first of all, he's always uncomfortable with elevators, right? And he's always afraid that they would fall. Why? Perhaps this was because the elevator had poor lighting, the elevator had dirty walls, also the door was not, like, it was not open for a long time. So yes, he was suffering from claustrophobia. So in that way, Martin is already having some kind of a fear in his mind. The main theme of the elevator is irrational fears of childhood. Theme is irrational fears of childhood. During childhood, children have a lot of irrational fears. And also an important theme of elevator is his insensitive father. Martin's father was very insensitive. So you may get a question that discuss the character of Martin's father. Though the father knew that Martin was going through some kind of anxiety, like he was having fear in his mind, still the father did not understand him. Rather, the father started judging him, that you are weak, you are not strong, and you are very timid. So those are the ways the father judged him, which again added to the agony of Martin. Yes, fear is also another important theme. As I said, irrational fears of childhood. So you may get a question, what is your fear? What is your greatest fear? And how would you deal with your fear? So if it comes like this, you can talk about something which is, which is like imaginative. And the best way to deal with fear is always confront the fear and not run away from it. Okay? Now, what kind of an ending the story has? It has a cliffhanger ending. There is no clear ending of the story. It's somewhere between. Now, a question can come, what do you think would have happened at the end of the story? So here you can talk about the way you want the story to end. Again, be creative as much as possible. You can say that maybe it was Martin's misjudgment that the lady was harmful, rather the lady was friendly. So after the stop button is pressed, maybe Martin realizes that the lady is very friendly. Or you can say that Martin gathers up all the courage to face the lady, and he realizes that this is the way he can deal with the fear. Okay, so these are the ways you can write the alternative ending of the story, the elevator. Elevator, yes, I know, elevator and last lesson had come last year. But then, as I said, you never know. You don't take risks. And you may get questions in MCQ. You all have to attempt full marks in the MCQ. So therefore, I would say, don't leave anything. Keep it for the end. These two lessons you can keep for the end. Okay, do you want me to cover anything more in treasure chest? Ask me. Right now, tell me. Those who are here, anything else? Pedestrian, just now I have done. Just now I have done pedestrian. Personality of the old lady. First of all, you have to describe her appearance. Okay, well, how did she look? She was very fat. She had small eyes. Okay, and according to Martin, like, she was a little crazy because she kept on staring at Martin. Also, she occupied the entire elevator. She was too big that she occupied the entire elevator. These are the things we will talk about the old lady. I think that's all about the old lady. Now, do you think the old lady was a figment of his imagination? Yes, possible. Possible that it was only Martin's imagination, because it was only Martin who saw the lady. There was nobody else who saw the lady. Right? So it can be that the old lady is also a figment of Martin's imagination. Okay? Okay, now those who are asking me that for a 3-marker question, how much to write? 40 to 50 words, not more than that, to the point. Whatever has been asked, please write that. Don't write the extra things. Okay? The last two questions are personal response question. I think I told you all. If you follow my channel, a lot of people usually ask me such doubts. Last two questions are mostly either personal response or theme based. So whenever you get a personal response and if you think you can connect it to the main message or theme of the lesson, that is the ideal way to write that. So for every lesson, make sure you prepare the theme. For every poem, for every prose lesson, prepare the theme and go. Okay? All right. So, yes, before I move on to your doubts, let me also talk a little bit about, somebody is asking about haunted houses. Though I have already explained that poem many times, but still again, since you're asking, I will quickly go through the haunted houses. What kind of marking scheme are you looking for? It is all 3, 3, 3 and then last one is 4. That is the marking scheme. If you're asking that how you will be marked, it is content plus your expression. It is content plus your expression. Those who are following my channel for a long time and those who are there today, I am really grateful and thankful that you all are trusting and you all are listening to my guidelines, my tips. So yes, please give a like, give a thumbs up, and if possible, try to share this video with your friends. Try to share it. Keywords is, now the word keyword, what does it mean? It means words from the poetry, words from the story. Those are keywords. Okay, there's nothing Greek or Latin about keywords. Keywords means जो story का words है, वही है keyword. All right. So claustrophobia is a keyword because Martin suffers from it. Right. Father was insensitive. So insensitive is a keyword. Those are the keywords. You need to, keywords are the things like which convey the main thing about the lesson. So if you follow my videos, like explanation videos, if you have listened, I have covered all the keywords. No, why would you write extra? Nothing to write extra. Write only what has been asked. Explain that much. But then while you're explaining, don't beat around the bush. Be exact. To the point. Correct. Okay, let's move on to haunted houses since I see Daisy is requesting about haunted houses. Let's move on. Okay, now the first thing in haunted houses, first of all, who are the spirits? The spirits are first, they are very different. They are harmless, they are inoffensive, they are not mischievous, right? So who are they? They are the souls of the dear departed. They are the souls of our loved ones who linger in our memories and therefore they live in our homes. This is the main thing about haunted houses. So there are literally no scary ghosts here. The memories of your loved ones. The poem is all about that. Right. Now, what kind of a tone the poem has? The poem has a gentle tone. No, nothing to write in points. Don't write anything in points in literature paper. Okay? And it evokes a feeling of peace and comfort. Right? Now, in the first paragraph, all the houses where men have lived and died, they are haunted houses. Right? How do the spirits, they move? They move through the open doors and they continue to do their errands. Errands means all kinds of small work. So they continue to do their errand. And how do they move? They don't walk, they glide. They don't make any sound with their feet upon the floors. Right? First para done. So all the houses where men have lived and died are haunted houses. Yes, they only glide around. Next is, where do we meet them? We meet them at the doorway, on the stair, along the passages, and they are called as impalpable impressions. Impalpable impressions, again a keyword. Underline that in the poem. And you can also sense that there is something moving to and fro around you. You cannot touch them. You cannot, touch them with your hand, but you can feel their presence. You can sense the presence. Now, the poet tells that, the narrator tells that there are more guests at the table than the host has invited. Why? Because who are these extra people? The extra people are the phantoms who live here. They have occupied the houses from before. They have lived in their houses, in these houses. So therefore, when you have guests, it is an imagination that it is not just the guest who is sitting, there are more people who are sitting around. What kind of a hall it is? It is an illuminated hall, a brightly lit hall. And it is crowded with quite inoffensive ghost. And they are compared to the silent pictures on the wall. This is a simile. The ghosts are very silent, just as silent as the pictures on the wall. Now, the stranger at the fireside cannot see the forms I see, nor hear the sounds I hear. Now, why? The narrator has an ability to perceive things in the past and in the present. This is a special ability he has. Now, why he has? Because he misses his loved ones. When you miss your loved ones who are no longer there, you feel as if they are around you. That is the reason the narrator is able to see the people, but the host is only able to see whatever he can see. He can only see the present, but the narrator has the ability to see the past as well as the present. No, speaker is not a spirit. Please don't write this. I don't know from where you all have got this idea. He is not a ghost. He has an ability to perceive. Why he has an ability is because he misses his loved ones, and therefore he feels that they are around him. So he is not a ghost. Okay. So he but perceives what is. He can only perceive the present. But for me, all that has been means the past and the present is visible and clear. Then he talks about the title deed, that we don't have any title deed. That means we cannot say that we own this, we possess this house, we possess this property. Why? Because the previous occupants, they claim their ownership. And how do they claim? From their graves. It is as if they stretch out their hand and they claim their ownership through mortmain. All right, so this is what he tells in this paragraph. Next is, he compares that the spirit world is always moving around the world of sense like an atmosphere. We are always surrounded with the spirit world. They are always around us. And through the earthly mists, the earthly vapors, you can feel that ethereal air. Okay, then the next part is the philosophy of life, which the poet has mentioned, that we in our life are always in between opposite attractions and desires. So what is this opposite attraction? On one hand, we want to enjoy the materialistic pleasures of life, and on the other hand, we have the noble aspirations to become better. So every human being goes through these conflicting emotions. And these emotions, this conflict comes from where? Why are we always getting these temptations? It is probably from a celestial star in the sky. Okay? And these perturbations, this perpetual jar, comes from the influence of an unseen star. Last two para. Now I'm coming to the last two para. The poet talks about an imaginary bridge of light. How is this imaginary bridge formed? It is a floating bridge of light. This comes from the moonlight falling on the water. So with the moonlight falling on the water, it is forming a bridge which is a floating bridge of light. He imagines that this bridge of light is perhaps a way to connect to the world of the spirits. But do you really think it is possible? No, it is not possible. That is the reason the bridge is always floating. It is unsteady. And since it is unsteady, the connection is not possible. It is not practically possible. Similarly, from the world of spirit also, there descends a bridge of light, and it is having an unsteady floor. And we continue to move around this dark abyss. We continue to move around this dark abyss because it's a very hollow and it's a very mysterious place for us, but we will never be able to reach and directly connect with them. We will have the urge to connect, but it is not possible to connect. Why? Because that is the world of spirit and this is the world of sense and reality. Two different worlds. The urge to connect is there, but that connection is really not possible. Connection means literally going into that world and coming back from that world. That's not humanly possible. Okay, I think that's clear. Now, question from haunted houses is again theme. What kind of a tone it has, which I just said. Those are the important questions from haunted houses. Dark abyss is a place, it's a hollow place which has no ending, a dark mysterious place, a hollow area which does not have an end, like a cave which is like, you know, a continuous place which does not have a proper ending to it. That's an abyss. Now last year we had the main poems. What are the poems which had come last year? And what are the lessons that had come last year? In lesson it was, I think, last lesson and Martin with the this one, elevator. So the key, you can keep aside those two things, those two lessons, and prepare the rest. Okay. Poems this year, power of music is important, haunted house is important. These are the two things which are important. No, it is not a simile, it's a metaphor. More than it's an imagery. Metaphor is there, but it's an imagery. Moonlight falling on the water is an imagery. Now we move on to considerable speck. Okay. Now in considerable speck, what happens? First of all, let us understand what is the theme of this poem. Okay. The theme of the poem is the importance of imagination and creativity. Imagination of creativity, importance of an active mind, importance of a productive mind. The mind needs to be active and productive. All right, now there is a small speck which the author, the poet notices while he was writing on a sheet of paper. First he thinks that it is a speck of dust. Then later on he realizes that it is not a speck of dust, but it is a mite, a living mite. And it has inclination, he could call its own. Inclination means feelings. He could understand that the mite had feelings and it had its own decision-making power. So now then the mite paused. Why? Because it was scared of the pen. It paused with the suspicion of the pen and then it came racing wildly on again. First it paused and again it comes. Where does it come? To the manuscript where it was not yet dry. The ink was not yet dry. Then again it pauses because this time it either drank or smelled the ink. And immediately it had a dislike. Because after that it again turned to fly. Okay. Why? Because the mite had an intelligence. Mite had an intelligence and the poet, the narrator also deals with the same intelligence. Okay. Next, it was too tiny to have room for feet. The mite was so small that the narrator thought that probably it does not have the feet, but yet it had, because it ran with terror and it also showed that it didn't want to die. That means it had the survival hunger, the hunger for survival, which is there in every living creature. It made all attempts to continue to live. It ran with terror and with cunning crept, and then it faltered. And then finally, it just was lying down in the middle of the paper, cowered down in desperation to accept what I accorded it of fate. Whatever the narrator would decide about its destiny, that is where the mite just, was lying over there. Now the poet tells, the narrator tells that he has none of the tenderer than thou collectivistic regimenting love. He does not have it. He does not believe in this, that collective good is better than individual good. During the time the poet was writing the poem, that there was a surge of a particular thought that collectivistic good is better than individual good. And this is one of the theories of communism. The theory of communism propagates this fact that when there is a collective good for everyone, that is the way a society should function. But the poet doesn't believe that. And therefore, he lets the mite live, because he realizes that even though it's a small mite, a very small mite, but it has an individuality. It has an individual quality. What is that quality? A mind, a creative, intelligent, productive mind, a mind which is capable to think about its good. And therefore, he lets the mite live. Okay, so that is all he talks about. And then at the end, he also tells that I also have a mind. That means the narrator has a mind of his own. He doesn't follow what others are doing. He's not, jumping into the bandwagon and following the trend. He also has a mind, and therefore he recognizes mind in any form, in any guise. And if I see a least display of mind, I am very happy to see that. Okay, so this is all about collectivistic, considerable speck. The poem, the theme is mind, intelligence, and reverence for life, respect for all forms of life. Okay, yes, I think that's all about considerable speck. And then power of music. What is the main theme of power of music, which I already said? Bhishma Lochan is a man who loves to sing. He has a very horrible voice. He's a very loud voice. When he starts singing, everybody, goes through a lot of suffering and pain, because his voice is very loud and very unpleasant. But Bhishma is determined to sing. Right? Now, you have to learn the consequences. What are the consequences, other things go through, like the people, then the animals, then the birds, the fishes. What are the things they go through when Bhishma starts singing? So please learn that part. Right? The horses start neighing. So all those things are there. And then after this, the fishes. What do the fishes do? The fishes try to dive deep into the water because they want to find a place which is silent. The birds flip over, they turn turtle. So every way, somebody or the other, they suffer a lot. They plead to Bhishma, please stop, but he doesn't listen. He doesn't listen. And then finally there comes the billy goat. Now, qualities of the billy goat: he is very intelligent. The billy goat is very wise. Characteristic of the billy goat, you will write wise. He is prudent and intelligent because he knows how to teach Bhishma a lesson. The wretched brutes are the animals who are in pain. Right? So finally the billy goat attacks Bhishma. There's a lot of violence. Brutally he attacks, and then Bhishma falls apart, and the song is finally stopped, and everybody gets the gift of silence, the golden gift of silence. So this is what happens in this thing. Power of music. Now what is the theme? Yeah, I'm coming to Great Trees Fall. What is the theme? Theme is power of music. Music is very powerful. It can have positive as well as negative impact. Positive means music can soothe, it can relax, it can make us relax, it can provide us with comfort, it can provide us with happiness and joy. But then what is the negative impact of music which we see in the poem? That music can also be very negative if we come across a man like Bhishma, who is so loud, and that his loud singing is a trauma for others. Okay. It's an oxymoron. Considerable speck is an oxymoron. No, yeah, it's an oxymoron. Okay, so that's all. Now last poem is When Great Trees Fall. We'll come to that. Now Great Trees Fall, what is the importance of this poem? What is the theme of this poem? Can anybody write? First of all, great tree is a metaphor. Great tree, the word great tree, the phrase great tree is a metaphor. It symbolizes the influential people, and these influential people, they always cast a great impact on the society. Okay? Now, their death, when they die, it affects everybody around. It affects the small creatures, it also affects the strong animals, creatures, everybody around. In both ways, what the poet has tried to say, that it affects the entire community. The entire society is disrupted. The entire community is affected when great trees fall. Means when great people die. It impacts both the small as well as the big things. Why? People are shocked, right? People are in a sense of trauma. They are in a sense of shock. They retreat into silence. The loss, the sense of loss is very profound, very deep. There's a lot of imagery in the poem. Now, when great souls die, you realize that the world is not going to be the same. So there's a sense of realization, there's a sense of regret. You had the promised walks never happened. So there were certain things you planned, there were certain things you had, some hopes, some dreams, some aspirations. So those things are no longer possible. So there's a sense of regret. Okay, now there's a clarity also. What is the clarity? There's an understanding, a deeper awareness, which you realize after the initial period of shock. So what is the understanding? The understanding is that things will not be the same. The way things were, it is not going to be the same again. Now, the awareness also hints at the teachings and the learnings which these great people has left behind. Okay? So now the last para is very important in Great Tree. The last para is very inspirational. It continues to inspire us because after a period of loss, you again realize that life has to go on. You reconcile yourself to this loss and you continue to move on. But how do you continue to move on? With the lessons, the teachings they have left behind. So you take those, you imbibe those teachings, and you continue to live your life with carrying forward their legacy. Right? So the last para is very beautiful, and you have to understand it in this way. It's a very inspirational and motivational poem. Soothing electric vibration is the spark of life. Suddenly you realize the spark of life. All these while you were living in a period of mourning. So when you have the soothing electric vibration, you realize the spark of life. It's a new spark of life. Yes, you can. If those who are looking for a shortcut, I would say last year's lessons, keep it in the side, concentrate on the other things. But if you're looking for 98, 99, you can't leave anything. You have to prepare everything. Which poem? Last two stanzas of which poem? Please share this link with others, with your friends. Later on they can watch. When great trees fall, just now I explained. Last two stanzas. Great souls die and are reality. Great souls die means death is inevitable. They will die. Bound to them takes leave of us. So our reality was connected to these souls. Now the reality is as if also takes leave of us. Our souls dependent upon their nurture. Just like you nurture a plant, how do you nurture a plant? You nurture a plant with water, sunlight, right? So that is how a plant is nurtured. Now how our souls are nurtured? Our souls are nurtured with love, care, kindness. And from where did we get these things? We got from the great souls. But now that they are no longer there, it starts shrinking because they are not getting that love and warmth. So the soul starts shrinking. That means you are robbed of the nourishment which was provided. The souls are now starving. Our minds are also lost now. Lost in which way? We formed our mind. Our mind is filled with thoughts and ideas. So these thoughts and ideas came from where? From their learnings and teachings. So that also falls away now that the great souls are not there. And we are like reduced to the unutterable ignorance of dark, cold cave. Our condition is like we are living inside a dark, cold cave. A dark, cold cave means utter despair, utter loneliness. I can see a lot of people are joining. So please give a like and a thumbs up. I would be glad to see, that all of you are listening. Please, those of you who have joined and listening, and I think I'm clearing your doubts, you also need to, tell me that whether you're enjoying or not. Yes, thank you so much. Please share your likes. Please give a thumbs up. Please share this link with your friends. Thank you so much. And those who have not subscribed, please also subscribe. Maybe many of you are watching, they have not even subscribed to the channel. So it's going to benefit you because I also cover topics from ICSE 11th and 12th. So if you remain subscribed, you will not miss out anything. I keep on giving a lot of updates. Okay, now the last para of great trees. When great souls die, after a period, peace blooms. Now, after a period, you start realizing that life has to go on. Peace settles in. Time heals everything. Slowly and irregularly, you can feel this electric vibration. You can feel the new spark of life. And our senses restored, they whisper to us. So what do they whisper? That they existed. They existed and we can be better. So how we are going to be better? Because we are going to continue with their legacy and we are going to continue with their teachings. Right? So this is how we are going to continue living. Okay? So what are the stages of grief related to this poem? Most important poem, Gurleen is asking, most important poem, probable we can see, we can't say most important, Power of Music, Haunted Houses, Great Trees. Nobody can leak the chapters, nobody can do so. Those who are telling that they know you can give important questions, but you can't leak the chapters. It is just something which you can guess. So those who are saying, please don't believe. Most important poem, Power of Music, Haunted House, Great Trees Fall. I only teach English and history, but yeah, primarily English. Stages of grief is first mourning, a period of loss, a period of mourning, and then peace and acceptance. Finally, move on with your life. Yes, that's all. Girl who can, I've already explained. Once the video is over, replay and listen. And also the full lesson is explained in detail, complete detail already on the channel. And that is a great video. All the explanation videos which are already there today, after this, whenever you feel, go and listen to that. Lucius Pella was a man who had taken bribes, and he is related to Cassius. He is related to Cassius, he had taken bribes. That much is only what you need to know. Okay? All right. I hope important questions. I have already done a video. I have done 20 questions for Julius Caesar. Go and check that. What were the conditions that Brutus laid to Mark Antony before the funeral? Such an easy one, that you should speak all the good things of Caesar, about Caesar. You should speak in the same pulpit after my speech has ended, means Brutus's speech has ended, and you should not blame the conspirators in any way. Today, today if it is possible, I will try to do another live at night around 9, a short live session. With the photographer theme, with the photographer is body shaming, acceptance of who we are, insecurity about our looks. This is the theme of photographer. The tone is humorous. Tone is humorous. It is a light-hearted narrative with a subtle message. Paper is going to be great. All the best for your paper. It's going to be like a superb paper. I promise. It's going to be very easy and it's going to be a great paper. Make sure your presentation is nice. Power of music is a humorous tone. Yes, enemy stent. Juxtaposition is side by side when you place two ideas. That is juxtaposition. It's a figure of speech where you place side by side two contrasting ideas. Quarrel between the photographer and narrator is at the end. The narrator frustrated and he gives him left and right and he tells that your photograph could be really expensive and you have done so many things with my photograph with so many filters. Don't use the word filter. You have reworked on it. Filter is a modern word. The story is not a modern story. So you have reworked on my photo. You have used so many strategies and everything, but it's at the end of the day, it's worthless. It's a worthless bauble for me. Means it's a waste. It's a waste. I will not use it in any way. And so thank you for the support, and I want more support from all of you so that my channel reaches to many more students like you all, those who are serious about studies. Thank you. So it's your job. All of you need to take that initiative to share it with your friends in your groups, because at the end of the day, if somebody is there to guide, I think nothing like that. Every style needs some guidance. And if such guidance you get, then if it helps you, it's also our duty to share it and uplift our friends. So make sure your friends also get the same guidance. So please share it. Thank you. My blessings are always there with you all. It's always there. Trust me. I always pray for you all, and I know, and I give my try to give my 200%. Maybe for sometimes I'm not able to come with a live, or maybe not able to come with a video at times regularly, but then it's always there that I need to do something, I need to write, I need to make a video. So I will definitely do so. Continue to help, and my blessings are there. Don't worry. Please today, revise everything nicely. Have a good sleep. Some of you are having a habit of staying awake. Yes, but then make sure you have a good sleep so that your memory, your concentration is, superb. Okay, all right, that's all. Then I think I'll end it. Yes, if you think more questions, make sure you write it in the comments, and I will try to come with a live at 9 today. A short live session for any doubt. That will be just a doubt session. Okay? Short stories, I will try to come up with a few short stories questions, though I have already done it now, but still I will try to. Important questions for Julius Caesar is already there, please check that. Actually, scene 1 very important, scene 2 also very important. Scene 1 and scene 2 very important. Scene 2 all the soliloquies, scene 1 all the soliloquies, all the speeches of Antony, the first speech of Brutus. Please study. Pindarus' character, what is there? He's a loyal slave, that's all. He was taken in Parthia. That's all about Pindarus. I'll come at 9, okay? All right, thank you so much. YouTube are doing live at night and they extend it till midnight, so I will be awake till 1:45. Okay. All right, I know. M. Hamel is good enough. M. Hamel is good enough. No, all the acts you have to study. I know, I should have. Chalo, bye everyone. Take care and study well. All the best.